A lot of people consume whey protein and they get digestive symptoms and they'll attribute it to the whey. They think it's the whey that did that. But the problem is most protein bars and protein powders contain such low quality, terrible ingredients. That's the culprit. It's not the whey.
I feel like whenever I look at a protein bar specifically, the list of ingredients is quite a long list.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Welcome back to episode 26 of the Clean Kitchen Podcast, which is also my age.
Oh.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Kevin.
And Kevin.
Yeah.
So I discovered a new protein bar and we tried it last week.
We did.
It's the Way Better Bar. And I have to say, if I were to make a protein bar myself, which I eventually would like to, it would have ingredients very similar to this bar.
Yeah. Not only were the ingredients spot on, it was delicious.
It was good.
It kind of tasted like ice cream, kind of cake. It had a unique vibe to it.
Yeah. It was like a dessert tasting.
It felt more like dessert than a protein bar.
I gave it to our dad to try, and he liked it, but he didn't like how big it was. And he said it left not the best taste in his mouth afterwards, which I didn't experience that.
No, I didn't
but he
either.
did.
Which flavor did he have?
Berry. Yeah.
It's a unique texture.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a normal bar.
Right.
Once you bite into it, it's I don't know, chalk. I don't want to say chalky.
It is.
Yeah.
It's more of a chalky texture for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get more into that.
Okay.
And protein bars. We're gonna do bad, better, best protein bars. Okay. So when I think about protein bars, typically I think of someone that's swole in the gym, like nonstop for the gains kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't need to be the case. It can be for an average person that's not trying to become some sort of contestant in weightlifting show. Bodybuilder. When is it that you typically consume protein bars?
Yeah, so I'd say two times I primarily consume a protein bar and a protein shake, which we can also get into. But protein bar, maybe sometime in the afternoon, like if I need a quick snack. And I try to fill up when I eat lunch to the point where I don't need that afternoon snack. But if for some reason I don't eat the same meal that I normally have for lunch and I am hungry, then I'll normally reach for a protein bar because that will help fill me up even more and obviously keep me full till dinner.
Yeah.
So midday, but then also post workout.
Yeah. Okay. So then you've gone to the gym, you've done your workout, and that's when you'll typically include it there. Going to the gym though, I want to dive in deeper there a little bit too. I think people have sometimes fear going to the gym, not knowing what to do exactly, whether or not they should be lifting weights or cardio. There's a lot of options there. Want to understand your process when you go to the gym. What is it that you do and what are you looking for when you're there?
So throughout college, I would kind of just go to the gym and just look at what other people were doing. You know, maybe I'd go with a friend or two and they would kind of show me what exercises they do. And I wasn't really following any sort of plan or anything like that. And nowadays, it was recently I asked myself, like, why am I going to the gym? Like, do I just want to look muscular? Do I want to gain muscle for a certain sport? Or why am I doing this? And I came to the conclusion that it's really just to maintain muscle because muscle is so important for longevity and preventing disease and just overall staying healthy.
Yep.
And then also just being able to stay mobile and flexible and prevent injury.
Yeah.
We talked about this previously, but I've been playing a lot of pickleball, play a lot of golf, play tennis. I love sports. So at this point, I'm like, what can I do to just prevent injury and stay flexible? Not necessarily go to the gym and get as big as I can.
Right.
I'm not really looking for that.
Right.
Maybe
exactly.
where I was in college, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's a good way. I think most people have a similar mindset. I think when you're younger, you're training for a sport maybe, or maybe you're trying to play sports in college. It's a driver for you to go to the gym because you have a goal that you're working towards. I remember even once I graduated college, me and a group of friends, we'd always do those Spartan races, the obstacle course races. And that would motivate me to go to the gym because it was something I was working towards.
Yes.
But we stopped doing those quite a few years ago. And I found that I didn't have anything that I was working towards in going to the gym. I think that's what tends to be the tough part is like you said, why am I doing this? Because I don't need to look crazy. I want to do it for me, for longevity, for health. We'll talk about some of the ways that working out helps you out there. But you did touch on one thing that I want to kind of revisit quickly, which is flexibility. And that is not something that I think about when I go to the gym. It's more lifting weights and getting big.
Right.
What is kind of flexibility? What does that even mean?
So recently, I guess within the past 6 months or so, I came across knees over toes guy. Have you heard of him?
I've heard of him. He's got a great name.
Yeah, it is a great name. It's catchy. You hear it once and then you'll never forget it. It's Ben Patrick is his name. And he suffered from some serious knee problems. And I think he had multiple surgeries. Doctors told him, he's never going to be able, he loves to play basketball. You're never going to play basketball again. You're never going to do all this stuff again. And he basically, said, no, I don't believe that, and found a way to basically heal his knees and be able to do things now that most people wouldn't imagine doing, like dunking a basketball from like literally just standing under the hoop and then jumping up and then dunking a basketball very easily. So things like that. And this is someone that was told that his knees are done.
Yeah, it seems like, and he's all about flexibility. It's not like he's out there lifting weights and squatting thousands of pounds or something.
He definitely squats some weight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I came across him and I found all of his exercises that are meant for flexibility and mobility and preventing injury. So I recently got his app, and you do have to pay for that, but he has so many videos on his YouTube channel if you do want free resources. But I've started doing these specific exercises that a lot of them are preventing injury, but also healing different areas of the body, specifically your joints, so your knees and your shoulders and stuff like that. And I actually experienced a lot of knee pain when I would do squats, especially with weight, with a good amount of weight. I would always get like knee pain. So I think that was when I first came across his videos. And ever since, I've been doing some of these exercises, which, yes, strengthen the knee, but also strengthen the muscles around the knee, like your shins and your quads, and also a lot of stretches, just not just exercises, but also stretching to strengthen my knee. And I all my knee pain is basically gone from the squats. Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah.
So stretching, like. I guess what kind of workouts are you describing? Is it squats? Is it other types of workouts?
Yeah. It's some squats, but it's not your average squat. So traditional fitness advice tells you to not put your knees over your toes because that's going to cause injury. But when you think about it, we put our knees over our toes in so many instances throughout the day. When you're walking downstairs, you're putting your knees over your toes. When you're playing so many different sports, skiing for one, you bend your knees, your knees go over your toes. Basketball, tennis, like lunging, like all of this stuff, you're constantly putting your knees over your toes. Yet the fitness industry, which this is something I learned about recently, has told us not to do that.
Yeah, I've learned that as well, and I always just assumed that was fact.
Yeah.
More recently, I've seen it wasn't knees over toes guy, but it was someone else. Probably learned it from him.
Yeah.
And he just took screen grabs of all these amazing athletes, like in the middle of whatever sport they're playing, and always their knees are over their toes.
Right. So, yeah, exactly. So I don't know who came up with that we shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the exercises he talks about are putting your knees over your toes. So squats, if you go to a classic fitness instructor or someone, they're going to tell you not to put your knees over your toes when you squat, like keep it back. Yeah. But now I only do squats with knees over my toes.
Yeah.
So like exercises like that, there's certain lunges, and other exercises where you are putting your knees over your toes to strengthen this.
Yep.
And strengthen the areas around the knee as well.
Do you ever use a resistance band as part of your training?
Not often, no. One of my friends actually was over at my apartment earlier last week, and he's big into the gym, and we did use a resistance band, but I normally don't.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. The person that I think of when you talk about kind of flexibility and working on maybe stretching as a big component of working out is a Tom Brady, a famous athlete.
He used a lot of resistance bands?
A lot of resistance bands. He was all in on like muscle pliability, I think is what he called it.
Okay.
But he never lifted weights, rarely.
Yeah.
Definitely not during the season, maybe in the off season. But it was all about using resistance training, and effectively your body plus some resistance is enough weight for you to be moving around that you don't need to add all this additional weight in order to really build up your muscles and how strong and flexible your muscles are. I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
It was just so different than what everyone else was talking about. And this was 10, 15 years ago.
Right. So I'm sure that plays a role in how long he lasted in the NFL.
That's true.
I don't know how many years he was there, but
long 20 plus years.
More than the average quarterback.
Yeah.
We interrupt this episode of the Clean Kitchen Podcast to remind you to leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. This helps us reach more people. Right, Kevin?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
And we need that. We need to reach more people. And if you are listening on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe so you never miss an episode every Wednesday, 10 a.m. We appreciate you.
So you talked about some of the reasons that are driving you to work out. Andrew Huberman has a 2-hour episode on the benefits of working out and why people should work out. Well, I watched that video, so you don't have to.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I got the key points here for you.
Okay, hit me with it.
So from the great Andrew Huberman himself, really summarizing it a little bit, people tend to think about working out in one dimension, like what we talked about. You get stronger to look good, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah, and I think, I hate to interrupt you, but really quickly, I think one thing with women specifically too is they're not afraid to work out, but they don't want to work out because they don't want to look muscular.
Mm-hmm.
But muscle is so important.
So important, yes. It's way more important than people think.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good point too. I feel like I've seen that on Instagram too, where if there's like a stronger woman, people will judge her for being strong. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is not good.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, everyone should want to build up muscle.
Yeah.
The reason why is because muscle is important for really 3 things is what it got down to: movement, metabolism, and posture. Movement makes a ton of sense. The stronger you are, the easier it is to move, the more in shape you are. Uh-huh. Metabolism, I guess, makes sense too, because if you're working out, you're getting stronger, then your metabolism is working faster and processing food. Posture, I would never have thought of.
Interesting.
When I say posture and working out, what are you thinking of?
When I hear posture, I just think of just like how you're sitting on a daily basis, how you're standing, and like your spine.
Yes, all those things.
Yeah.
The people that tend to work out more tend to have stronger muscles, which leads to better posture. And one thing he talked about is the importance of good posture. Helps with breathing the right way. Helps with better sleep. Little things like that I had never thought about, but actually it's like one of the connect the dots things where it's like I work out, I end up with better posture, I sleep better, and then I recover better, and then I can work out better, and kind of just keeps going.
That's interesting.
Life cycle. Yeah.
Like for example, maybe like the muscles on your back help you keep your keep your shoulders back more throughout the day, which gives you better posture, something like that.
I think little things like that. Yeah. If you're strong enough to effectively, you have to be strong enough to hold yourself upright for a long period of time.
Right.
If you're not, you're going to slouch.
Yeah.
And I think people that have those stronger muscles are able to hold themselves up.
Something going off that and posture and your spine and all of that good stuff is hanging on a pull-up bar. Have you ever seen or heard of this before?
Only from you. I think that was the first time I'd seen it.
Yeah, I've seen this pop up everywhere now, but I've been doing this on and off for at least a couple of years since I first read about it. But every time I go to the gym, I'll start my workout by hanging on a pull-up bar for maybe a minute, a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll do it sometimes throughout the day too, because I have a pull-up bar in my apartment. This is a really, really good stretch for your back and spine. And you can watch videos of people doing this. It decompresses your spine, and you can like almost see people's spine stretching out, kind of. It's not like gross or anything. You just see their body like stretching out, basically.
Yeah.
And this is a very natural position for us to be in. So it stretches out our spine. It improves your grip strength, obviously, because you're holding yourself up.
Yep.
Which I think is very important for people to do, to be able to hold your own body weight.
Right.
And then also, which is one of the reasons that I got into it as well, is for shoulder mobility. It'll improve your shoulder mobility, because it's really just it's stretching out all your shoulder here. And we played tennis growing up, And I don't know if you remember, I always had shoulder pain. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like in high school when we would play a lot in tournaments and stuff like that. And I always had shoulder pain. And sometimes I would have to rub cream on it to numb my shoulder.
Yes.
Because I was in so much pain.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Those creams, they were powerful.
Yeah.
Odors. Yeah.
Like herby, or not herb, like spices and cinnamon smelling, like really strong.
Yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Do you still have shoulder pain when you play?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I think hanging on a pull-up bar is a big part of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm stretching a lot. My diet is obviously better than it was in high school. I'm stretching a lot more than I was.
Right.
But yeah, I think hanging on the pull-up bars is a big part of why my shoulder feels so much better.
You said you try to do it a couple times per day.
Yeah.
For a minute each time.
If you can do a minute, that'd be great. That's what I shoot for.
Yeah.
I want to challenge everyone listening to this podcast right now to try to do 30 seconds. Find a pull-up bar, find something you can hang on. It doesn't even have to be a pull-up bar.
Yeah.
Something you can hang on that's sturdy, that will hold you.
Most kids' playgrounds have something.
There you go. Yeah. Monkey bars.
Yep,
yeah.
Monkey bars.
And anywhere. Walk to a park, a nearby park, and just hang for 30 seconds. This will improve all those things like I just mentioned. Your shoulder, your spine, and then improve your grip strength as well. What was the question? Did you ask me something?
there was a question somewhere, but I like that. That's a tip of the week.
Yeah, tip of the week.
Tip of the week.
30 seconds.
Have you?
You're asking me how long I do it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because I was going to say, what should beginners do? But I think you answered that.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
So when I wake up, I do it. Mm-hmm. It's like one of the first things I do when I wake up. I don't know, just it like, you wake up and you like stretch out.
Yeah,
you go like that or whatever.
Yep.
Like that just stretches me out. Like a lot, by hanging on the pull-up bar, and then before I do a workout, those are the two times
before you do the workout.
Yes, right.
So it's the first thing you do when you get to the gym.
Yeah, normally.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. I like that a lot. There's a game.
Have you ever done it?
I've done it, but not consistently. Yeah. I've done like one-off times where I'll just hang there.
Okay.
Like today, I was at the gym and I just hung there for maybe like 5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
After I did pull-ups.
Yeah.
But not. I don't go out of my way to do it, but
I challenge you. I challenge them to 30 seconds, but I challenge you to a minute.
A minute?
Yeah.
If you go to the North Carolina State Fair, one of those little competition games they have is to hold yourself on a bar for 1 minute.
For 1 minute?
1 minute. You could do that.
And that's it?
Yep.
And then you win?
Then you win.
Stuffed animal?
One of the stuffed animals. Not a huge prize.
All right, I'll go do that.
Yeah.
That'd be some good content.
Yeah, exactly.
Year
Yep.
The fair just
You've basically
happened.
been training for the state fair.
I guess so, without even knowing it.
Yes. Okay, getting back to Huberman, there was one other point that he made that you actually hit on earlier, but I want to drive it home, is that as we get older, our muscles get weaker. And in order to offset the weakened muscles, you have to work out.
Yeah.
That is if not for anything else, just offsetting your muscles, just aging over time, which naturally occurs in everyone, is a really important thing. Mm-hmm. So that's another, if you're looking for motivation, there's some motivation for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't even need to go to the gym and lift a ridiculous amount of weight. Just grab whatever you can do and start doing something.
Yeah.
Start somewhere. If you're not doing anything now, start somewhere. Just go to the gym and just start doing stuff.
Yeah. Hang on the bar. Do something.
Hang on the bar. Yeah.
Yes.
Even that.
Yep. And then the few other things that Huberman hit on that were important were some workout tips. So you know how towards the end of your workout, it burns sometimes if you're doing something.
Yeah,
So
I felt that today.
yeah, that feel the burn mentality, that's actually a real thing. That's something happening in your body where your body is actually when it's burning, it's acting as a beacon for lactate, and it's releasing a hormone throughout your body, and it's actually improving your brain, your heart, and your liver health when you get to that burn phase of your workout. And so Huberman recommends about 10% of your workout should be at this burn phase because it's improving brain, heart, and liver health.
Wow.
Yeah.
So once you feel that burn, keep going.
Yeah. Your body's telling you keep going. It's telling you to breathe and to keep going.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting there. You really want to focus on breathing at that point.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
I feel like when I normally get to that stage, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just about done. Mm-hmm. But push through it.
Yeah, your body's telling you, I'm all right.
Okay.
It's a good thing for you.
All right, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
I'll report back.
A couple other tips. You don't have to lift heavy weights, which is what we've said.
Mm-hmm.
You can lift light weights or no weights at all. Your body weight is perfectly sufficient. Push-ups, pull-ups are great exercises for anyone.
Yep.
And then based on the science, there is a recommendation to do about 5 to 15 sets per week per muscle group. So biceps is a muscle group. You'd want to do 5 to 15 sets per week of biceps, 5 to 15 sets per week of triceps, chest.
Oh, interesting.
Same thing. That's
5 to 15. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I don't.
How much do you do?
That much? The current plan that I'm doing now, it's a lot of, and it's by knees over toes guy.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's really 3 days of upper body workout and then 2 days legs and kind of flexibility and stuff like that. And stretching is also thrown into that. But I mean, just biceps alone, I'd maybe just taking that into account, maybe 6 a week.
6 a week,
sets, yeah. Because if I do that twice a week,
Yep.
three sets each.
Yeah. So you're
Okay.
in that range.
Yeah.
It sounds like
the
a lot
lower end.
initially.
15 is a lot.
15's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You'd really have to, you'd probably go twice a week per muscle group because you're not doing 15
Right.
reps or
Right.
15 sets in a day.
Most of my workouts are 3 sets
Okay.
with anywhere from 6 to 20 reps, depending on the exercise.
Yep. That seemed to be the standard in like the 10 to 12 range. I feel like is
Yeah.
is the standard there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then the last tip, which I thought was really interesting, was that 45 to 60 minutes is kind of the peak workout.
Okay.
Once you go to 75, your cortisone levels are actually increasing, and it's not good for you anymore to go longer than 75 minutes based on the science.
Too much stress.
Too
I
much
guess.
stress on your body.
Yeah. Because exercise, I mean, you quite literally are stressing out your body. So
Right.
it's a stress, but I guess if you fall in between that 45 to 60 minute mark, it's a good stress.
Exactly.
But don't push it.
Exactly.
Did he say anything about, he said 5 to 15 sets per week, but did he say how many times a week?
He did not know.
And like 2 days off or something like that?
Yeah, recovery was a big piece of it. Like he
Yeah.
did say, if you're going to do biceps one day, don't do biceps the next day.
Right.
You have to give your
You have to recover.
muscles time to recover.
Right.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yep. So
Okay.
some general, very helpful tips.
Yeah, those are very good
that I
tips.
thought. So now you don't even have to watch the Huberman episode.
Yeah,
Done.
no, I'm not. No,
Cross it off your list.
I'm definitely not now.
Yeah.
I'm going to delete it from my watch later folder.
And so that is some information on working out, but kind of relating it back to food a little bit, because that's what's at the core of our podcast here. I've always heard that you should have carbs right before you go work out. Have you heard that?
Yes. Well, I've heard this specifically, yes, before you work out, but also before a race, like a big race, like a marathon or a half marathon. Have you heard that?
No.
Like carb loading? Have you heard of that?
Oh, carb loading. Yeah. Yep.
Well, I always hear that, like people eat a ton of pasta and rice and all this stuff for dinner the night before.
Do you ever do that?
No.
Carb load?
No, never.
Do you eat something before you go to the gym?
Normally, which we talked about before, but I'll have like a tablespoon of honey.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of
That's carbs.
yeah,
Carbs and
that's
sugar.
true,
That's
yeah.
energy.
That's energy. That'll
Yeah.
get you going.
Yeah. Maybe a banana or something.
A
But
banana.
but I have to say I mean, yeah. I work out fasted a lot too, though, where I
You
just don't
do?
eat anything before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't say I notice a difference.
No, I never eat before. I go to
No.
nothing.
Yeah.
Workout fasted. Is that what you called it?
Yeah, working out fasted. Yeah.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
Is there science behind that or something?
I think Thomas DeLauer has talked about it, the jacked guy.
Oh yeah.
You like that guy?
He only does biceps. My man's in like the 30 sets of biceps there.
30s. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's definitely working out at least
Yeah.
twice a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have heard him talk about the benefits of fasted workouts before, but I've also seen him talk about the benefits of consuming like fruit or honey before and during your workout as well.
yeah?
I've heard him talk about during. I don't
Do you
know
have something during?
I don't know this. I do not. No,
don't?
no.
Okay.
I couldn't imagine eating during a workout.
No.
I feel like, and I don't know if this is just me, but a lot of times when I work out and I go hard and push myself, at the end, I almost feel like I want to throw up.
I've had that feeling recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a recent one though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you always have that?
I've always had it when I push myself.
Huh.
If I take it easy, I'm good. But when I push myself, it's like, yeah, it'll last for 10 to 15 minutes after the workout.
Interesting.
Not like bad, but it's just like, yeah, I'm feeling
Yeah.
woozy. I need to sit down, take a break, drink a little bit of water.
Yep. I felt that today. I only feel
Really?
like if I take like more than a week off. If I take more than a week off the first time back, a little bit woozy at the end.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what the science is behind that.
No, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Gonna have to dig deeper there.
Yeah.
But you mentioned pasta as a potential. It reminded me, my wife and I made homemade pasta.
Oh, really?
Have you ever made pasta?
No, I've never made pasta.
No. Pasta.
How'd you do that?
Way easier than I thought. It popped up on my Instagram, and I was like, that's surprisingly easy. And there were 2 ingredients: flour. We used gluten-free flour and eggs, and we used cage-free, pasture-raised. Which one? I forget which
pasture-raised?
one. Pasture-raised eggs.
Yeah.
Vital Farms.
What kind of flour did you use?
I don't know the brand.
Like was it like almond flour, brown rice flour?
No, it wasn't.
Was it like a mix of a bunch of different flours?
It might have been a mix.
Okay.
Yeah, might have been a mix.
Gluten-free flour.
It was a
baking
gluten-free
mix.
one. Yeah.
How did it turn out?
Really good.
Really?
So you just take flour and eggs and you mix them. We just mix them on the counter, and then eventually
on the counter.
Yeah, that was it.
In a bowl.
No, not in a bowl.
Wait, what? On the counter?
On the counter, yeah. It's part of the experience. You just make a big circle with your flour, and then you make a hole in the middle, almost like a bowl.
Yeah.
And then you put your eggs in there, and then you whip them up.
Like scrambled eggs. Yeah.
And then kind of fold in the flour. And a very fun activity, would highly recommend.
Interesting.
And then after 3 to 4 minutes, you have dough. That was it. We let the dough sit for probably 10 to 15 minutes. And then at that point, you have like your pasta. You just need to put it into whatever shape you'd want to. And so we have like a pasta roller. It basically flattens out the dough for you.
Oh, yeah,
You could just get a roller and do the same thing. But you flatten it out, and then a lot of people just cut it into strips. And then effectively you have spaghetti.
Right.
We took, because it's the Christmas season, took like cookie cutters and just made it into like effectively giant raviolis. But they were all like Christmas tree shaped or snowman shaped.
Yeah.
But it was a very fun activity. It was healthy, but even more so than that, like I knew what ingredients were going into the pasta.
Yeah.
Which pasta, there are some healthy options, but just not knowing what goes into your food can be kind of scary.
Yeah.
So having full control over the ingredients, that to me, that was the biggest takeaway, where it's like, wow, like this wasn't as overwhelming as I thought, and it was a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah. No, I've never done that before. Did you have to let the pasta dry? Like let the dough dry? Because when you buy pasta at the store, it's hard.
Yeah.
Did you have to let it get to that point or no?
You did not. And I wonder if it cooked so fast. So once we cut out the shapes, we put it in the boiling water.
Because it's already soft.
It's already soft. It probably took like 60 seconds to cook.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder, how does it get to that point in the store when it's hard and completely dry? Like what kind of processing does it have to go through? So it sounds like the way you made it is minimally processed.
Yeah, just
flour,
the 2 ingredients,
eggs.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah,
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, it reminded me too. I don't know if it's just me, but right now on my Instagram, I feel like there is a trend of people making their own bread. Have you seen this at all?
Like sourdough bread?
Sourdough bread.
Yeah, sourdough bread.
It's on yours too?
Someone was talking to me about it.
Really?
It hasn't hit mine yet.
I feel like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like every 6th video I watch is someone making their own homemade sourdough. And now after doing the pasta, I want to do the bread.
Yeah.
Just to experience it.
Yeah, apparently that's a big thing. Like you have to keep the sourdough starter alive.
Oh, really?
And you have to like feed it, and you have to like keep it alive, almost like a pet.
Oh, no way.
You have to like keep it alive because it's like it's live bacteria, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's fermented. Sourdough is fermented bread or fermented flour.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about sourdough, but except for that it's easy to digest.
Okay, so you would eat sourdough? I know you.
I would try it. Yeah. I would
if you made it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
You would?
Yeah, I would try it.
You wouldn't go out of your way.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of work.
It seems like a ton of work. I would start with pasta.
Yeah, I'll start with pasta. Yeah.
Okay, so that was kind of a fun little tangent there.
Homemade pasta.
Let's get back to protein bars.
Okay.
So we talked about working out. At the beginning, you teased me with a protein bar that is the best ingredients that you've ever seen. But let's talk about protein bars in general first. What are some things that you are avoiding when you're looking at protein bar ingredients, and maybe what are some things that you're looking for?
So when I think about this question, the first thing that comes to mind is the source of the protein. And the 2 most common sources of protein in protein bars and protein powders as well are whey protein, specifically whey protein concentrate, and then soy protein concentrate. So I kind of want to give you I guess the positives and the negatives of each one.
Okay.
So with whey protein concentrate, it contains all essential amino acids, which we've talked about before, but animal protein, beef, eggs, fish, chicken, whey protein, which comes from a cow, the cow's milk, that is complete. It contains all essential amino acids, which is very important for our body and optimal health. Plant-based protein, like soy does not contain all essential amino acids. So that's 1 point for whey protein and 0 points for soy protein. We'll put it that way. Also, with whey protein, it's quickly absorbed when compared to soy protein.
Okay.
Which can be beneficial, especially if you're working out. You want to get that protein into your body as quickly as possible after a workout. So that's just another benefit of whey.
You want to get the protein in because it helps with your muscles recovering, growing, getting stronger.
Yeah, getting stronger. Yeah. Keeping those gains that you just did in the gym.
Yeah, you worked for it. Gotta get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those are the two main things I do like about whey protein. The only negatives about whey protein is some people are lactose intolerant and can't digest whey, but I find that most of the time, and I literally just talked about this today on my Instagram story. Did you see that or no?
No, I don't think so.
I talked about how a lot of people consume whey protein and they get digestive symptoms, or maybe they'll have a headache or something like that, and they'll attribute it to the whey. They think it's the whey that did that. But the problem is most protein bars and protein powders contain such low quality, terrible ingredients that, in my opinion, that's the culprit. It's not the whey. So people are almost blaming the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Take your average whey protein powder at a grocery store. It's going to contain a bunch of artificial sweeteners like sucralose and asulfame potassium, which we know disrupt our gut microbiome and the way our bacteria communicate to each other, basically. So that can cause digestive issues. Most of them contain gums and emulsifiers, xanthan gum, guar gum, lecithin, soy lecithin, sunflower lecithin. And sometimes these aren't the worst thing in the world. If you consume it every once in a while, it's not bad. But if it's a protein powder you're consuming on a daily basis, maybe even multiple times a day, it's going to cause problems, specifically GI issues, because many studies have shown, again, that these ingredients are disrupting our gut microbiome and killing off our good bacteria. So all that to say, a lot of people are blaming the whey, but in my opinion, they should be blaming the other ingredients in that protein powder.
Yeah. I feel like whenever I look at a protein bar specifically, the list of ingredients is quite a long list.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's tough to blame it on one thing.
Exactly.
No matter what that one thing is.
Exactly. So I think that is one of the main reasons where a lot of people are going for plant-based protein instead of whey-based protein. There is a small percentage of the population that is truly lactose intolerant. If you look this up, it's going to say what 75% are lactose intolerant. In my opinion, that number is much, much lower. I think a lot of people are sensitive to the A1 protein that's found in milk. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
Also, if you can, I recommend looking for undenatured whey protein. This is just minimally processed. It's not heated to super high temperatures, which can basically alter the whey protein itself and make it more difficult to digest.
Will it say that on the ingredient list, undenatured?
Normally, they will say that. Yes, if it's undenatured, it'll say it. Okay. If it doesn't say it, assume that it is denatured, I guess. So processed to high temperatures, and that whey protein is basically altered and it may be difficult to digest.
Yep. Okay. So if you're looking at two bars, same ingredients other than the protein, you'll always go for the whey over the soy.
Yeah. The other main reason I don't like soy is because of the phytoestrogen concern with soy protein. Have you heard of this before?
I've not.
So there's something called isoflavones, I believe is how you pronounce it, in soy. And this has been shown to mimic estrogen in our body, which can create hormonal imbalances within our body, which is one of the reasons I really don't consume any soy at all whatsoever. But one of the main reasons I don't recommend consuming protein powders and protein bars with soy as the main ingredient in it, especially, like I said, if you're consuming this on a daily basis.
Right. It's going to disrupt your hormone levels there.
And the other thing with soy is that it is one of the most heavily grown and heavily sprayed crops in the U.S. So 99% chance it's GMO and is sprayed with synthetic pesticides and herbicides.
Yeah.
Which, again, we don't want to be getting in our body.
This is a lot of points for whey and a lot of negative points for soy.
Yeah.
So if we're going back to our point score. There.
Yeah. I don't know what the final score was. No. Maybe, what do you think?
It was a blowout. It was
blowout.
It was like 3 to -6.
Wasn't even close. Just like my fantasy score this week.
Too soon. Okay, so those are the
I was
protein.
The soy.
You were the soy boy. Have you heard?
That sounds familiar. What is that?
Carnivores on Twitter refer to vegans or vegetarians as soy boys.
Soy boys.
Soy boys. Yeah. So you don't want to be a soy boy with your protein bar.
No. Be a whey boy.
Be a whey boy. Whey man.
Man, there you
or
go.
woman.
Or woman. Yes.
Okay. That is the actual protein in the protein bar. You mentioned too that there tends to be a lot of other ingredients, specific ones that people should be on the lookout for to avoid.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the main thing, artificial sweeteners is like the first thing I would look for. If you see the words asulfame potassium and sucralose in your protein bar or protein powder, put it back. These are artificial sweeteners. You don't want to be touching them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if it has those ingredients, then it's most likely going to have a lot of other negative ingredients. If it doesn't have those ingredients, then you got a good chance of it being a better for you bar.
Okay. So that's a good signal.
Yeah.
Asulfame potassium.
Asulfame potassium, yes.
And what was the other one?
Sucralose.
Those two are immediate red flags. Put it back.
And they're so common.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, you're going to turn over the ingredient list. It's going to be like 50 ingredients. Yeah. Look towards the middle, maybe towards the end is where these ingredients normally are. Yeah.
When I think about protein bars and picturing a grocery store, the amount of options I feel like for protein bars is insane.
Yeah.
And it feels like there's a new one every other day. The other thing too with protein bars is I feel like the marketing teams are very good because I'll look at the front of the wrapper and I'll be like, that looks really healthy. Like the way they've described it there. And then you flip it over and you see 50 different ingredients. And that laundry list of red flags is always on the back. So those are, whenever I see it, I do find it overwhelming.
Yeah.
To kind of find a good protein bar.
Yeah, and also use zero sugar as a red flag if you see that on the front, because that's most likely artificial sweeteners.
It's sweetened with.
They may use something better like stevia or erythritol or monk fruit, but usually it's those artificial sweeteners.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and just quickly going off that, some of the bad, if we're doing bad, better, best, we're doing bad, better, best, right?
Yeah.
All right. So bad. It's a lot of the classic bars that you see that we grew up with, that we had growing up, like Quest. Actually, that one wasn't as bad. We just took a look at that. It did have some sucralose in it.
Yeah,
but it was mostly sweetened with erythritol, and the ingredients were simpler than I remember.
It's a better bad bar.
It's a better bad bar. I still wouldn't recommend it, but it's we'll go better bad.
Better bad.
Pure protein is one to avoid. Cliff bars, not so good, unfortunately. Just a ton of sugar. Nothing's organic. A lot of these also contain palm oil. And I just want to quickly talk about palm oil because palm oil is a saturated fat, meaning it's more stable when it's heated to high temperatures. Remember the train from last week's episode? So it's not as bad as the vegetable oils. It's not as bad as canola, sunflower, safflower, soybean oil, in my opinion. Is it the highest quality oil? No. But you do find that a lot of these bars contain that. So it's somewhere in the middle, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just a side note there.
Yeah.
Because I think maybe the Cliff protein bar contains it. I know some of these other ones do.
Yeah. The Cliff one specifically, I feel like I see that everywhere. I was at a conference when I just started work, and it was like a 4-day conference, and every day at like 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. they brought out snacks. And a Cliff bar was always one of the snacks. Every day I had 2 Cliff bars.
Yeah.
I had horrible acne that week.
Really?
I never had bad acne.
Huh.
I broke out. And the only thing that really changed was Cliff bars.
Wow.
I've not had any since then.
Something in there that
it just didn't.
Your body's not
work with
liking.
me.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me because there's honestly a lot of bad stuff in there.
Yeah. So we're gonna avoid that.
Yeah.
Yep.
What other popular protein bars am I missing?
The other one's Kind Bar is another very popular.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if people would consider a protein bar. It's almost just like a snack bar.
Yeah. Because that doesn't even have, I know it doesn't have whey protein, but it doesn't have, I don't think that has soy protein either. I guess the main protein source there are just the nuts and seeds. Which,
yeah, just peanuts.
Yeah, so I guess the peanuts, which that's not a great source of protein in my opinion.
Yep.
Does it have protein? Yeah. Does it have all essential amino acids? No. Is it being well absorbed by the body? Probably not. So
yeah, I just looked it up. The Kind Bar has 7 grams of protein, 9 grams of sugar for reference.
Yeah, so
not ideal.
I'd skip that one.
Yep.
But let's go into some better options.
Okay. Yeah.
There's not a lot.
There's not a lot.
There's not a lot.
Have me in the first half.
There's not a lot in the better category. One of the better options is RX Bar.
You just did a video on this last night, 2 days ago?
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and Dad made your own.
We wanted to do our own homemade because I like RX Bar. I love the simplicity of ingredients. I don't love that they use natural flavors, which is not the end of the world, but I just wish it didn't have it. And I do wish some of the ingredients were organic, especially in the berry one. They use strawberries and cranberries and raspberries, I believe. And berries normally test very high in pesticides. So I always like to get that organic. So we did. We made our own. And they turned out good. We're going to tweak one of the recipes and keep going with it to see what happens. But RX Bars is definitely one of the better bars out there in terms of protein. I think it's got 12 grams of protein per bar. So
they taste really good.
Yeah.
Like most protein bars are decent taste wise.
Yeah.
But most of that is because of the extra sugar that's been added in.
Right.
RX Bar, because they're sweetened with dates.
Correct.
They taste really good.
Yeah, they do. Good taste and texture.
Yeah. Yep. They do a good job.
So that's definitely in the better category. That one almost kind of stands alone, in my opinion, in the better category. There's Costco also has a protein bar, which also is in the better category, sweetened with, I believe, a little bit of erythritol and stevia and other ingredients, simple, clean ingredients. I think that's milk. I think they use milk protein isolate and whey protein isolate. People tend to have more problems with the milk protein isolate.
Digesting it?
Yeah, digesting it compared to the whey. But those are also pretty good. But I mean, I guess there's a few other bars like Aloha has a plant-based bar. Paleo Valley has a decent bar.
That's a good point. If you were looking for protein right after a workout, what's the difference in your mind versus having one of these protein bars versus having like a beef stick?
I'd take the beef stick every day of the week.
You would?
Yeah.
Because it's just protein.
Yeah, it's just protein, and it's probably the easiest to digest.
Yeah. It's
just beef.
Yeah. Has all the amino acids from it being animal meat.
Yeah.
And our body knows how to digest that.
Right. And whey protein is great, but it is still processed. Like to go from milk to a powdered whey protein.
Right.
And beef is just, a beef stick is obviously still processed, but much less processed.
Yeah.
That's why, honestly, I consume protein shakes after I work out, but most of the time, I just try to come back and make lunch right away, and I'll have beef. And I'm getting, if after a workout, I usually eat a pound of beef.
You do eat the full pound.
Normally.
Yeah.
So I'm having 80 grams of protein.
You can't beat that.
You can't beat that. That's just such an easy to digest, bioavailable source of protein.
Yeah. That's a good point. I guess it depends when you work out. If it's right before lunch.
Exactly. So I'm probably an outlier where I work out on purpose around 10, 11 o'clock so I can come back and eat lunch right away. Obviously, most people don't have the flexibility to do that.
Right.
They'll work out early in the morning. Maybe you make some breakfast with some eggs and bacon or something, and that'd be fantastic. That's a great source of protein.
Yep.
I would put all of those sources of protein above a protein bar and a protein powder.
So yeah, those are another class.
Yeah.
Not even comparable.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
Because those are unprocessed real whole foods. And when it comes back to it, we always tend to talk about real whole foods over anything else.
Yep. That's it. That's a consistent theme.
But I want to talk about the best protein bar.
You told me about it in the beginning. Bring it home for me.
It's the Way Better Bar. This guy, Jake.
Yeah. Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm. He created this protein bar just a month ago, I believe. It's called the Way Better Bar. I saw a couple of videos about it on social media. I thought, I got to try this thing because I looked at the ingredients and it was as simple as grass-fed whey protein, grass-fed beef tallow, organic honey for sweetness. I'm not 100% if it's raw or not, raw honey. I'm going to have to ask him about that. I hope it's raw, but it doesn't say it, which
usually means.
Which concerns me. And then it was just like vanilla extract and the vanilla, cocoa powder and the chocolate and some freeze-dried berries in the berried one.
Super simple.
And I've never seen a protein bar like that. And that, I love that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yep.
And it tasted amazing. We tried it last week when you were over.
Yep.
It was good, right?
Really good. Yeah. Really good flavor.
Yeah.
Very filling.
I ate them all.
Yeah. You ate them all?
I ate them all.
Did you have any gas issues?
I did not.
You didn't. This is safe space, right?
You texted me about that. Very safe.
Yeah. They did not sit well with me.
Really?
I didn't feel bad, but I had some bad gas.
Okay, so let's break this down.
Okay.
You've had like the Flav City protein before, right?
Every time I work out.
Whey-based. Oh, every time you work out.
Yeah.
Do you ever experience problem with that?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because that is also grass-fed whey protein. Now, that one is undenatured. I'm not 100% sure if the one in the Way Better bar is undenatured whey protein.
Yeah, I don't know.
Beef tallow should not cause gas at all.
Right.
Honey should not cause anything. And then the other thing is just vanilla extract. And so that's what makes me think it has to be the whey protein.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not the highest quality.
Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm only a month in, so we'll give Jake benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah. It didn't cause any problems for me.
Yeah.
Also, taking this one step further, you consume A2 milk as well?
I do.
On a regular basis?
I wouldn't say regular. Every so often I have it.
That normally doesn't cause you problems?
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Okay. We're on to something here.
I could be like, maybe I'm lactose intolerant.
I would like for you to try raw milk.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I'll do that.
I'll get some for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely recommend trying these Way Better bars. They're really good. See if they sit well with you. They don't sit well for Kevin.
Yeah.
They sit well for me. I'm definitely going to be buying more.
Yes. I'll be buying more.
You'll be buying more.
I'll just have to be outside when I consume them.
Well, that's not good, but anyway.
We'll work on that.
That's going to be it for this episode of the Clean Kitchen Podcast. We're going to end on that note, on the gas note. But we'll see you next week in episode 27. Thanks so much for listening.